Hello, everyone, and I hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. We are talking about mental health issues and how Dr. Chen, I'm going to interview in 1 second, had mental health issues and she became a naturopathic doctor. So we're going to go through her personal journey of mental health issues as well as how she overcome it. Welcome, Dr. Chen.
Hey, Mita, thank you so much.
All right, let's just start. It's an inspiring story that you yourself went through mental health issues. What kind of issues did you have?
So, for me personally, I dealt with an eating disorder, anxiety, and depression. So it's interesting because for me, it hit me the most, or at first when I was in college and I was studying psychology, and it was interesting because I didn't know I had mental health issues because it wasn't the typical textbook type of picture. Even though I was studying psychology, I didn't realize that I was dealing with this. So it wasn't until I figured out the root causes that I was able to really tackle this and overcome this, and hence why I got into naturopathic medicine.
So can you explain as to how did you overcome it? And then what was the journey like to overcome all these eating disorders? Pretty huge. Depression is
Hmm.
huge, right? Did you take
Yeah.
medication? So, there's so many meds that are available, especially for medication. So what were the tools that you used, including the conventional medication, if you did,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
also the natural therapy? So if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's an interesting story because for me, I actually went to 14 different doctors before I found a naturopathic doctor who was actually the first person to say, hey, let's step back and let's look at the whole picture because all these things are happening at the same time. There's probably a reason. And she was the first one to actually go through and try to investigate what was causing it. And for me personally, in my case, it turns out that I had heavy metal poisoning that I somehow got that was causing all three of those things. So through natural modalities and chelation, nutrition, supplements, it took me about over a year. But I remember that I got my cognition back, my memory back. I slept for the first time in over a year. It felt like such a different person. And it was the first time that I felt hope. And it just took someone to help me figure out what was happening behind the scenes. Mhm.
Okay, so you talked about the heavy metal toxicity in your
Yeah.
body, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
so let's just go through the journey of someone who is suffering from depression and some of the issues that you suffered.
Uh-huh.
How do you know
Mhm.
that you have heavy metals? I mean, someone is going through the depression, what kind of checks and balances they have to do so that they don't go through 14 doctors the way you did?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So, what I love about the naturopathic medical profession is that we really try to figure out what's happening behind the scenes. So, for me personally, for example, my with my patients, if someone comes in with depression or anxiety or a certain eating disorder, I have a list in my head of around like 30 to 50 different reasons what could be causing it. And I feel it's my job as a doctor to figure out what that is. So, through really intensive questionnaires and labs, we're able to really pinpoint what that is. And everyone is different. So, for example, with anxiety, for me, besides my medical practice, I also have an online program that's available to anyone online, but pretty much it's called the Banish Anxiety Method. And I help people erase anxiety for good and unlock their next level without medications or countless hours of meditation. And the way that it works is that I go through each root cause that I've seen to be really clinically common to cause anxiety. So these could be things like inflammation, diet, hormone imbalance, stress, the way your nervous system is reacting, could be toxins, allergies. Like there's so many different things that can be causing a mental condition. I kind of tell people that it's kind of like a physical underlying problem is manifesting in psychological symptoms. So for me personally, it just happened to be heavy metals and really intense stress, but that could be someone else could have the same exact clinical picture as me, but it could be something completely different. Like it could be that they have a bug in their GI tract, or they have a trauma, or they have certain stimulants in their lifestyle that they didn't know was sparking their anxiety. So I think that's the beauty of such holistic medicine, is because everyone is different, and there's what I love telling people is that there's so many different options. It may not be necessarily neurotransmitter imbalances that people think about, but it's happening for a reason and to figure out what's causing a particular person's symptoms.
So yeah, so all of us, we are going through some anxiety. It could be multiple
Yeah.
of different reasons that you're pointing out, and we need to
Hmm.
pay attention to what is happening to our body rather than taking a
Yeah.
stereotypical what we would read on the internet that something is wrong with us, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people I find, I remember I had the exact same thoughts of I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough will. Something's wrong with me. I'm broken. But it wasn't until I realized that it's kind of like breaking your arm. You just something happened and we just had to figure out what it is. And a lot of people attribute neurotransmitter imbalances commonly to why we have mental health issues. And that's definitely a huge part. But I found often it's not the only part. And that's what something that I love talking about and I feel like should be talked about more in healthcare. So thank you for having these type of conversations.
Sure, you can elaborate a little bit more. In addition to the neurotransmitter path, what else would you like to tell people that the other factors that contribute to depression, such as heavy metals we talked about, anything else
Uh-huh.
you like to
Oh
add
yeah,
to that?
that's a great thing to talk about. So it's a lot of people, at least like I didn't realize that the mind and body are so interconnected. Like I didn't know that 90%, around 90% of our serotonin is made in our gut, not in our brain. So it makes sense if someone is having a mood problem to look at someone's gut first. So that's huge. So it could be anything from a food allergy to inflammation in the gut to IBS to, you can't physically assimilate your nutrition or something's happening. And that's just the gut system. It could be something with your detox system. So, for example, when I've helped, like for one of my clients, I was able to help her anxiety, but then her eczema went away also. And it just so happens that they had the same underlying causes. So there's so many different things that could happen. So I love to look at someone head to toe and even their past, their family history, their social history, their lifestyle, like all these things could be playing an effect to it. It's a lot, but I feel like the body systems are so interconnected. So I think it's a shame to only look at one body system by itself. Mhm.
No, I think that helps. So to all the people who are going through anxiety or who have gone through anxiety because of
Mhm.
COVID, right? A lot of us have gone through
Yeah,
anxiety and
yeah,
depression and some mental health issues. It's not just one
mhm.
thing that defines you. And seek out
Yeah,
help from naturopathic doctor, like Dr. Chen is describing us, that we cannot compartmentalize this area versus our gut
yeah,
and go to like
yeah,
10,000 different, 14 different doctors to figure out what the
yeah,
heck is happening, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Anything else you'd like to add? It's a quick 10-minute session that we do on a daily basis just to educate people and make them aware of value of naturopathic medicine and natural therapies.
Oh, that's a great thing. Thank you. I think for me, it was interesting because I remember when I was going through all of this and I was feeling dejected and hopeless and feeling like there wasn't answers for me. Like it sounds like, oh, I was so strong and I went to 14 different doctors, but that wasn't myself. Like I had loved ones drag me to each doctor trying to help me. And I remember losing hope and thinking that there wasn't going to be an answer out there. But now that I got over it, I'm on the other side and I see that it's definitely so possible. Like the number one thing I always want to tell people is that there are answers out there, even if it doesn't feel like it. And sometimes you just haven't found the right resource, whether it's a naturopathic doctor or a different healthcare practitioner or a different program or something where that just vibes with you as a person and aligns with what you need. And there's so many different options out there. And I promise it's not just if you didn't have a good experience with something or someone, that is not the end. It's just like how you won't stop going to eat out when you had one bad restaurant experience. There's so much out there and there's so much hope. And both me and my clients are all living proof that it's so very capable to overcome different mood problems and mental health issues, and not only just overcome it, but keep it away. And I think that is so magical that a lot of people don't realize, and they become very beat down by healthcare and trying over and over again. So I just wanted to instill hope in people and to let them know that there is help out there and there's people out there and resources. And I hope they're able to find what helps them.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for giving hope to all the people, especially during the holidays. A lot of people
Yeah.
get depressed because of, being single and alone. So there is
Yeah.
hope out there.
Mhm.
And that's what we are trying to say here. With that, thank you again. And we are on a mission to educate and make aware benefits of natural therapy and holistic medicine. So stay tuned with us. Thank you for your support, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.